Cursed by the old goblin Bethany, we are 5 immortals doomed to walk the earth until we complete our 1,001 tasks. After centuries of having our memories dicked around, ready to complete our destiny and die. We are, for now, the Immortals. This is episode 67.
Woo!
Prime number, I think.
Yeah,
right?
that's a prime number.
Don't give a shit.
Other than that, I don't really think there's anything special about 67, so we can move on.
Well, there's something special about episode 67.
Yeah!
Well, let's just say who we are first.
Oh.
I'm Austin.
I'm Adam.
Oh, I'm Sarah.
I'm Lee.
I'm Pedro.
Wait, Lee?
We're all in the same room!
Oh my god!
It's crazy!
Took us 67 episodes.
But we finally did it.
We did it.
I don't know, how long it's been since we've all been in the same room in our whole lives.
The whole spectrum of
The whole-
centuries.
yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Well, we keep traveling. Are you trying to count to 5, Pedro?
Well, no, I think that when we said our names, we traced out the stars.
Oh. Austin, Adam, Sarah, me, you.
Yeah.
This thing that I'm drawing with my hands that the audience
This
cannot
is a
see.
big-
Great radio, guys.
Audio
Okay.
podcast.
I'm just so intrigued that we're all here.
It's
Yeah.
It's so
easy.
cool.
I'm not talking to myself alone in my room.
Yeah. This time. Yeah.
Next time I will be.
Absolutely.
Or just the two of us and Buddy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, for like a good dozen episodes or so.
That was a while. Then
Yeah.
you moved to Chicago.
Then I did, yes.
Guess you hate Lee.
What?
What?
No. I miss Buddy.
Buddy's the best.
Buddy is the
I
best.
miss
Buddy's
Buddy.
pretty good.
Hey, we're the Immortals.
Yeah, that's the thing we are.
This is what we do. The 5 of us, all of us here in the same room.
What?
As mentioned, Cursed by Bethany, living a whole long time. We gotta review the 1,001 movies, albums, food, songs, children's books, and TV shows that you must consume before you die. Every week, an intern who is working on our side within Bethany's lair helps us try to defeat Bethany, but also gives us our next number assignment of which to do all our reviews. And this week, we are reviewing the 730th entry in all of these books, and that means the movie is Vagabond.
The album is Dirt by Alice in Chains.
The food is Sesame Oil.
The song is Birdhouse in Your Soul by They Might Be Giants.
The children's book is The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman.
And the television show is America's Got Talent.
Beautiful.
Stay tuned.
Also has a lot of feelings.
Before we get to those feelings, let's follow a vagabond. Vagabond is a 1985 film by the acclaimed French director Angus Varda. Did I say it right?
Probably
I think so.
not.
Yeah. She is the 3rd female director we've covered in 67 episodes, which is way too small.
Yes.
But she is a badass. She started in the middle of the French New Wave with Cleo from 5 to 7, and she's still alive. I was so bummed that I missed her at the Music Box last year, just for one day. But this is a film that she made in the 80s. It is about a woman named Mona who starts off being very content being a vagabond. She prefers to live her life where she doesn't have any attachments, she doesn't have any obligations. She enjoys going from one place to the other, getting bread how she can, and just kind of constantly moving. And the film begins with her dead body, and the rest of the film is kind of following what got her to that spot where she froze to death. And she encounters lots and lots of people. Some people who are only there for a half scene, some there for multiple scenes. But basically all the people that she comes across who talk to her and then end up talking to the police and to the camera about what they thought of her. It's an interesting film. It seems more like it's a really loose film, but also seems very well organized at the same time. What do you all think? Lee, you go first. You're in the room.
Ooh, it's fine. It's a French movie. I'm not a huge French film fan. I like Genet, and that's about it. Because Amelie is charming and adorable, but
Amelie is charming and adorable.
this was not. This was like,
I hate Amelie, but that is a conversation for a different podcast.
When it comes up on the podcast.
Oh, I hate that movie so much. All right.
but this movie is like the opposite of that. It was not charming. It was not adorable. Numerous people mentioned how the main character smelled bad, which is not great.
There are 2 rape scenes.
Yeah.
She's eventually murdered.
Yeah.
Not
Oh,
murdered.
no,
just,
she
just
She
dies.
dies.
Because she
Spoilers?
doesn't know what she's doing? I don't know. Like,
Well, let's talk about the ending because there's not much of a plot, so
No.
we are going to talk about.
Well, we already spoiled the ending because it's in the beginning.
It's in the beginning,
Yeah.
Right.
but I mean, she kind of, in my mind, she is kind of how I interpreted the film. Mona, with her philosophies, she's not doing anything wrong. She's not being like, she's not a thief really. She's not being cruel. She's not like demanding that people kind of give her things. If people are willing to, she kind of keeps going by. But if people are dicks to her, she'll make fun of them. But everyone kind of keeps judging her over and over and over again. And she's sort of like wearing down from that.
Yeah.
And it's almost entirely men who are doing this. In fact, the only like times where she actually enjoys seeming to be talking to the other people are the women, and a guy near the end. But yeah, I think it just comes to a point when she starts to lose any kind of connection, starts to lose even the few things she has, to where she wants to stop wandering, but that doesn't mean she wants to settle down. She just lies on the ground, and that's it. So I actually enjoyed the back and forth of the film, where like the guy in the middle, the douchebag with the beret, who in the glasses, who's like, oh, I know the life, but there's a line between like freedom and loneliness.
Yeah.
And once again, he's mansplaining what she's doing.
There's a
as
lot
living.
of
He's got a
mansplaining in
master's
this
in
movie.
philosophy. He knows
Oh,
what
yeah.
he's talking about.
There's a lot of mansplaining in this film. It's true.
again, it's a French movie.
Yeah.
But I think that it's very obviously by a female director though, and I think the film is critiquing that, which is cool. I mean, like I said, so the point of this, I was saying sometime when we were watching it, so the point of this movie is everybody hates women, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's like her whole journey through life, everybody who the narrator talks to about her is basically saying, I may be bad, but she's worse. And she's objectively not. Like, she's fine. Like, in comparison to these people she runs across, like, she's not ever painted as, like, a bad person. She's wandering, clearly not particularly responsible in some important ways, and not, and sort of prickly to the point of not being able to form connections, but she's, like, perfectly, like, reasonable. Like, she doesn't, I mean, like...
She's closer to a blank slate.
Yeah,
The actress is confident, I feel like, about the full, like, range of the character, like, what she's been through. But
yeah.
for the purpose of her, like, new character, she's just this. And everyone kind
Right.
of projects their feelings of either, like, the youth or women or just vagabonds in general onto her before she does anything.
Right.
And it really, like, it just keeps hurting her, really. And it's a bummer.
Yeah.
I also feel like her own laziness is kind of like her downfall. Like,
Yeah,
she's given,
definitely. Yeah.
she's given numerous opportunities to work for like a house or work
Right.
for food or whatever, and she just like, nah, I'd rather not.
Right.
Well, I think, like, because with the guy with the beret, because he gets mad at her and kicks her out when she hadn't done, like, her chores yet, I think she's kind of willing to work a day. Like
Yeah.
it's completely her lifestyle where she is not looking to, like, find a job where she can stay there for a month kind of thing. Even though she explained this to him, and he explained this to her, what she wants. He kind of got mad that, like, but you didn't do the 17 things today. And you could tell she's like, I just wanted a roof for the night, and I'm out. Fuck it.
Well, and, like, I mean, she mentions, like, she goes, like, that guy's the best guy. That guy, I think, is the most interesting. This is the Masters of Philosophy guy, right? Is that what you're talking about? And he's basically, I mean, he's, like, this guy who, like, he's like, I'm returning to the land, like, raising goats.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, clearly is not originally from that lifestyle. And she, like, makes what I interpreted as, like, an offhand comment. Like, yeah, it would be really nice to have, like, a piece of land where I could plant potatoes. And he's like, oh, let's do it. And, like, it's like, here's this piece of land, and this is how we're gonna do it. And, like, and then gets, which is basically him being like, you should want to live my life. And then when she's like, I'm good, like, I don't, like, this is not, like, I'm not talking about, like, going into, like, this lifestyle. I just need somewhere to, like, I just need to have a roof over my head and not be bothered, really. He's pissed. And so, like, it's not, I don't think that...
I didn't blame her as much as, like, I thought I would in that moment, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, she's very human. One of the reasons I like the performance is that, and I looked at this performance won the equivalent of the French Oscar for Best Actress the year it came out, and the movie was nominated for a César. I like the performance because it's just very human. Like, it's very clear why she's, like, sort of, that she's lazy. That, like, the reason that she's doing the things she's doing is not from, like, some good character trait. But she's also never, the acting is never overdone, and the storytelling is never overdone. So she just seems like a person, which makes all of it, in some ways, even more tragic than it would be if she were some, like, perfect film symbol of, like, the meaning of youth or something. Like, she's not. She's just a person. And people treat her like shit, sometimes for good reason, but mostly for no good reason. And men are the worst. And, yeah.
Let's have some more men talk. Adam, what do you think? Adam, what do you think of the film?
Oh, why did you put me in this position? I didn't have much of a reaction to it, honestly. I couldn't quite tell if the film was admonishing or praising her lifestyle, just because, like, she was lazy and people kept wanting her to kind of, like, join society, but she didn't want to at all. And yeah, and the other thing is, I'm getting a little burned out on these themes of isolation and loneliness that seem to keep popping up with these films that we're watching, I think. Just about how we try to make connections with people, but we're actually all alone.
Well, I hope that doesn't happen next week.
Ugh. Hope not either.
Yeah, we can all hope. I think the film, I think much like the first, like, woman she really meets, I think the film is just, like, respecting her choice. I don't think judging too harshly either way. As things start to kind of go down for her, where it's just things have become more and more terrible. She emotionally kind of can't handle as much. She loses her things because of a fire. She's now kind of drinking more and kind of giving up more. That's when the film, I think, had the most, like, real sympathy for her. Because now she's in a rut where no one's able to help her.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was the closest thing to really kind of, like, make it a full statement about her life, I guess.
Well, definitely, because it happened so fast. It was in the span of, like, a couple days.
Yeah.
It's like, this lifestyle, it's neither bad nor good. It's whatever you choose to make it. But careful, because it can go down quick.
Yeah, it's definitely risky. and
she judges more the people who do the things to her.
Right.
She's not doing anything, like, necessarily wrong. Like, when she goes into this diner, she sits down, and the guy says, like, looking at me or looking at my sandwich. She goes, your sandwich. And then he orders her a sandwich. Like, she's not begging for it.
She knows what she's about.
Necessarily, like...
She's confident.
Like, she's never, like, stealing. She's relying on others to live.
She's just a normal person who decided to live outside. Which I love how they use that phrase, I guess, for basically being homeless. No, you're not homeless. You live outside. That's your home.
Yeah.
And I don't know. They keep mentioning how she got her degree, like her first degree in typing or something. They're like, oh, you did? Why don't you work? Why don't you do this? Oh, you actually you made it to a certain point where you can live and sustain yourself in a home if you so choose. And everyone, when they find out, they're like, why aren't you? She's like, I'm good. I'm fine.
Yeah, she didn't like become homeless because like she lost everything. She's choosing to live this traveling nomadic lifestyle.
From what I got, there may have been something traumatic in the past that.
Yeah, I mean there were decisions that led to it, but like it's not like they.
In this snapshot, she was fine.
So it's interesting. I this is a tangent, but I swear it's an interesting one. There's on one of my road trips, I went to a place called Britt, Iowa, which is the home of the National Hobo Museum, and basically it's this little town in Iowa which has like 800 people tops, and once a year it is host to the National Hobo Convention, which is not like an art festival. It is. There are still people who ride the rails in America, and they converge on Brit every August. And they have a society among hobos, which is like the museum is super interesting, and it's like a society built over like 100 years. They elect a hobo king and queen. They then adjudicate disputes between hobos and what is going to happen. They like bury and mourn their dead. There's a hobo graveyard. It's really interesting. And one of the signs in the museum is all full of art made by hobos, and that's like their chosen term. And they say a bum is somebody who neither travels nor works. A tramp is somebody who travels but doesn't work. A hobo is somebody who travels and works. And so their thing is basically that, like, we live outside. We've chosen to live on the rails. We do work when we come into a town, and then we move on to the next thing. And a lot of what, like, they now talk about, because there's now tons of people, unsurprisingly, who are trying to record the oral history of this dying subculture. Super freaking interesting. I highly recommend a stop in Britt, Iowa, if you are ever near Britt, Iowa, which you won't be. But, like, it has become increasingly impossible to live like that. Because, like, work doesn't work that way. People are very, you can't just, like, pop in and have somebody give you a job. People are very distrustful that there are not as many trains. People are very distrustful of hitchhikers when they did not used to be, which I think is something we see in this movie. And it's just become a much more dangerous way to live. When previously it was, like, it started, like, this culture started in the Depression era. It was, like, a life choice you could have. Like, it wasn't, I'm not saying it was, like, particularly normal, but, like, there were people who, like, just didn't want to be tied down. And they lived for 50 years as hobos. Like, that was what they did.
I just pictured that guy from Mad Men in the flashback. He was like, if the chalk says this on the door, this means the food's good.
Hobo codes are real. That was like, there's a huge exhibit in it, and it's really cool. Seriously, this place is awesome. You all should go there. But yeah, and so I was thinking about that when I was watching this movie, because she's just encountering so much societal derision.
Is she you think she's, like, going through the transition? Because this is France in, the end of the 80s, beginning of the 90s.
I mean, yeah, I think it's more just that, like, we now view anybody who is homeless or traveling the way that she is as fundamentally dangerous, untrustworthy, and to a certain extent we always have as a society, but it's definitely more so now. I mean, like, the only people who will pick her up are men who want to rape her. Like, that's the only people who will pick her up.
Or the odd lady.
Yeah.
Who is awesome.
Yeah, but, like, in general, like, her life is much more dangerous, in part because she's forced to the margins of society, which I think is sad. And I think I liked this movie. It was good.
Pedro?
Sorry, I talked a lot.
No, I thought it was interesting. I was completely fine with watching her go through her life, see these snapshots. It is an interesting thing to think about, that this is just her life choice. I like how she was so comfortable with it, and how much it was just her choice doing her thing. So I didn't watch A Tale of Misery feeling bad for someone in the way that life gives you shit and now you have to deal with it. It's more, I was like, you're actually doing pretty good. Fun.
Until she freezes to death.
Until she freezes to death, yeah. But apart from that, I feel like there's something missing. There's a certain je ne sais quoi,
Fuck you.
right?
But no, I feel like there's something missing from it too. Like
It doesn't grab me as much as it should.
I agree. Like
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't necessarily care that she's just this homeless wanderer. Like, and anytime that she ever really gets close to people, she immediately leaves, like for one reason or another. And like towards the end, when she starts spiraling out of control, like even if someone had offered her help and like you can stay here free, you don't have to worry about it, I don't think she would have taken it.
No.
I agree.
It's
And
this weird,
I don't know why.
I feel like the film is
Yeah.
this weird gray area that's. I almost would have preferred it if the director, producer, whoever, to play off of this, like you say, every film has a thesis. To do this, just make a documentary or follow someone in the life, or make a movie that's a little more capturing. I feel like it's just sort of in between.
You know, I actually really enjoyed. This is kind of what you're going with, but I really thought the movie. To me, it moved actually really quickly, which is weird since it's just like short, sometimes like slow scenes, but it all quickly. I really like how Angus Varda filmed this because it kind of shows just someone walking in a real place, but also like every once in a while it becomes like a beautiful photograph. Like it's never like a painting. It's really just like a great like city photograph of kind of where she is. It's just like it kind of captures that really well. It's art of the world we can look outside and see. So I think that kind of helped with a bit of perspective for me on it. I do think that Varda, in her presentation, a couple times went too on the nose for me, where I kind of rolled my eyes, because whereas she's not really judging Mona, she is judging those she encounters very clearly. And sometimes I think the hypocrisy was too visually obvious. Like the annoying young guy who says, I can go without eating as he's being served dinner, or the woman who's in the bathtub saying how dirty she was, or the shot, which actually looks like a really good shot, but it just wasn't that many close-ups to justify like it by itself, where the woman who ends up becoming like her closest ally, when they're at the table, she has the manicured hands with the nails, and Mona has the really dirty hands. I felt like those like moments to me were like really like, no, I get it. But it was almost too much for a movie that's actually pretty subtle the whole time, except for one batshit crazy scene.
I was waiting for the lady to like comment on her hands, and be like, "Oh, let's go do this," or "Let's get a manicure." Here's some.
Just
polish.
like,
I
let
don't
me
know,
go
something.
bathe you.
You want
Let
to
me
have
go
makeup?
exactly.
You want to have makeup or
But
montage?
she doesn't. She just looks at her, or we do, whatever, and then turns away. It's like, oh wow, you could totally use a bath. All right, see ya. I'm gonna clean myself now. It's
Stop miming.
sorry. All of us can see each other now. It's kind of
There's more people listening.
This is
Well,
really
I guess
It's
this
not
is
just
true.
the 5 of us.
Yeah,
We have like 3 whole listeners.
absolutely.
We love you
So there's
guys.
8 now.
We love you
Nice.
guys.
No, I think the movie would have been more interesting if she would have gone with that posh lady and like quote unquote gotten her life back on the right track.
The film would have been amazing if she stayed in obviously the best place in the entire film, which was Grandma's living room.
Yes.
Oh my god, Lydia
we
is
talk
the
about
best
Grandma?
character
She's
in
great.
the movie. She's an old lady.
Her glasses are so thick.
Yep.
I'm not totally sure what her purpose was in the movie, but I liked her.
Yeah, that's
another
'cause,
ally.
that's,
Yeah.
it's she's at that stage where everyone's already sort of like trying to scheme and see who's
Yeah.
going to get her house and stuff because she's really old. They've already like thrown her to the curb. Lily's like, oh, I didn't realize she couldn't see, but she really can't, and she's senile and whatever. And the old lady's like, oh, just let me get close enough to you, and okay, you're not this person. You're cool. Let's get drunk and
Yeah.
listen to this. My nephew's trying to take my house every time he sees I'm in good health. And she was just so cool, and it was an interesting. I don't know. You could get here eventually, but you won't because you're going to be frozen tomorrow.
Yeah, and I did like the sort of essential tragedy of that, which is from the beginning, like, she's not gonna go with the posh woman and get her life together because we know where this ends. And I liked it as sort of a
Framing device.
yeah. It's because it makes the movie
I was shocked. I liked it. Yeah.
a little bit of a like a survey of missed opportunities.
Mhm.
Like there were reasons she didn't do any of these things. The film isn't really judging her for it or saying like this is the moment she caused her own death at all. But had she taken any of those opportunities, like we know from the very beginning, like it would have gone better than it went because it couldn't have gone any worse than it went. So,
But
also
ultimately,
she-
her fate came down to a bunch of assholes.
The weird
that
tree
threw
people!
wine on her.
oh my god, okay.
She wouldn't have died if that didn't happen.
No, she would have.
Eventually,
I
but
think-
like she was wet and traveling in.
I mean, I think
Winter France.
it's more that
That's like
it was like I saw that scene as more like the straw that broke the camel's back. Yeah, that really weird scene at the end of the movie where a bunch of people dressed like trees covered in wine are clearly having some sort of festival and throw wine at her.
I feel like she accidentally stumbled into Mardi Gras, basically.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah,
some
it's
sort of like.
weird.
Okay.
I was worried it was like radicalists,
No.
but they're not. They just look like assholes.
Oh
who are
my
drunk.
god, but like I'm pretty sure I think it's possible that I watched this film in high school in French class. But I zoned out a lot during movies in high school and French class because the subtitles were never on, which is sort of the point. I get that. But, like, yeah, my French wasn't good enough at the time to actually know what the fuck was going on. But I distinctly remember a scene, either it's this scene or a scene a lot like this in another movie, which would almost be weirder. I remember my French teacher pausing it and explaining to me explaining to us what was going on. But I do not remember what that explanation was.
And Google's not being much help.
No, I'm even Googling in French and I can't find anybody going, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
Which either means that this is a thing that no one in France bothered to note as interesting because everybody knew what it was. Or no one's seen this film. Probably the most likely explanation. But, like, what is happening? Does anyone know? Please tell me.
yeah.
As someone who's seen
please.
a lot of French films, I can say this is how most of them end. It's not a big deal. As we start to wrap up, Adam, you haven't talked a lot. Any last things you want to say?
No, I just don't really feel anything for this movie at all. I mean, it's fine.
Like most of the guys she's encountered.
Yeah.
You just don't care about her.
No. Well, I think that I wish that I had known what had led her to want to live this life. Just a quick scene, that's all I want. Is not even anything dramatic, but just like just to know like what her kind of mission is.
And I'm weirdly was happy about that because
Well, now I'm
like in
curious.
every person she encounters, we start on their footing, and how do we treat her? As opposed to how she is treated by them. Like if she had like a sad thing that happened to her, that's what did it. They will know that the trucker is wrong for doing this way. But if the trucker
Right.
sees a homeless person in the street, you have your own judgments about everything kind of going in. And to me, that kind of like cultural bias and assumptions is kind of the tragedy of the film.
I guess that's true. Why does something have to happen to her? Why could she have just not really liked any of the other options?
Like
Which
the
she
asshole-
probably didn't, because she's lazy as fuck.
Like the asshole in Into the Wild.
yeah,
the film I don't-
actually, he's
the
just
film I don't
like,
like.
I don't like any other. Yeah, it was.
I just wish she would have had like some. We would have known as an audience what her motivations were.
Mhm.
Like she wants to be free, but obviously she's not.
No.
So
Is this based on a book?
I don't think so.
Okay. I feel like it would have made a better book.
Yeah.
Like each
Yeah.
chapter is from the point of view of the person that she runs into.
Mm-hmm.
That would have
I think
been, that
about
would be cool.
I think you would have gotten more character introspection if you would have done that as well.
I'm not saying you should have been a book.
Yeah, come
Director,
on.
you fucked up.
Why didn't you just write a novel?
Yeah.
Even though you're a film director.
Yeah, no,
God.
that's a crazy critique, but
I think it's time for hinges. I give this 4.2.
I really liked this movie, actually. I'm going to give it a 4.5.
I don't know.
You
This
don't
is
have to do
difficult.
what we did.
I liked it, and I guess it's worth a watch. 3.8.
I thought it was okay. 2.3.
Ah, I'm not going to be the lowest. 2.5.
All right, so Adam hates women.
Yep.
And this is
Sorry.
Vagabond. It is currently available on Filmstruck and on Criterion DVD and, I don't know, probably your library. Check it out. You know, Mona walked a long time. And she didn't always walk on the road. Lee, what did she walk on sometimes?
You could have gone with, like, she was really dirty. She smelled bad. Like,
What was under her fingernails?
I'm not judging her. I'm saying what she walked on.
Anyway, we're listening to Dirt by Alice in Chains. Second album. It came out in September of 1992. It is very much part of the alternative / grunge music movement that happened in the 90s with some, little known bands like Nirvana and Pearl Jam and things like that. Bands you may have heard of if you're into music or that sort of thing. Yeah. So this is Alice in Chains.
Who all listened to this one?
I did.
I did.
I didn't.
Nerds.
Me neither.
So, a controversial statement, but I think I actually do believe it in my heart, which means I am probably wrong, which is grunge is for children.
Grunge is for a very certain time in every teenager's life.
Yeah, when you were a child.
Yeah, like outside of the age of like 16, you're probably getting a little too old for grunge. I feel, generally. But I'm also not a fan of grunge. I think it sounds gross and it's too sad and doesn't make sense and just, I don't know, it's not my favorite genre in the world.
This was tough to listen to for me, because it just, like, every song, it just felt dumb.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up my worst song. Adam, you talk about this.
I feel like this is the kind of album that I hear playing in a construction site. I feel like I've made this metaphor before at some point, but it's on a tinny radio playing really loud so everyone can hear it, and they're just hammering stuff and drilling.
Oh.
And I'm not judging that lifestyle. I'm
Yes, you
judging
are.
this music choice. I'm judging them in tandem, I think.
What do you think of female construction workers?
Hate them.
I knew it.
I knew that.
They have no place outside.
But back to the tinny statement. No, it does sound tinny. Like, I listened to it, a high quality version with great headphones, and it still sounded like I needed to adjust all of my settings on my sound. It just sounded weird. I don't know. I will say it's a good album to follow up with last week, because last week we had a band whose name I've already forgotten.
Killing Joke.
Killing Joke, with Killing Joke, that's what it was.
I remembered it, guys.
But that was generic. You could have replaced it with anything else and nobody would have noticed. Whereas this one I feel like has a more of a distinct sound that you're not necessarily going to find all the time. And it's more unique.
I'm trying to remember which one of because the titles aren't helping out very much. There's a song late in the album where they kind of just keep saying, like, what drug am I on?
Oh, yeah. So this band was really super high while recording this.
Oh, they weren't subtle about it.
Yeah, like, not just, like, smoking pot and drinking all the time. No, like, there are reports of the lead singer shooting up heroin as they're recording. Like, everybody's in the studio sitting around together, and you're just like, okay, guys, real quick, we gotta do this.
But it's like
Fun.
people who not only do that, that's all they have to talk about. Mm-hmm. That's what this album is.
Kinda. Again, it's perfect for high schoolers who are really trying to figure out what they're doing with their lives. And guess what? Nobody knows what they're doing with their lives.
It has a song called "Hate to Feel."
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
I will say that, like, the song Rooster, which is one that is a staple on every alternative rock station in the Midwest, at least, was written by the lead singer who was trying to, like, repair his relationship with his father. So it's kind of like about his father, whose nickname was Rooster in the Vietnam War. So, like, that's kind of sweet, I guess.
I like that song. I like genuinely like 3 or 4 songs on this album.
I mean, Untitled was great. It was 40 seconds long.
Okay, great. I gave Austin a face like I have no idea what you're talking about.
I recognized Rooster, and there was another one on the album that, like, I don't remember which one it was, but it's like, oh, I've heard this one a billion times because it's the one that one of 2 Alice in Chains songs that every radio station plays. But outside of that, I wouldn't really say I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Yeah. Well, before we give hinges, I think we need to do an important question.
Okay.
So there's a fantastic book called Sex, Drugs, and Cocoa Puffs by Chuck Klosterman, before he stopped writing good books. But in the middle of the book, he has these questions, these 23 questions I ask everyone I meet in order to decide if I can really love them. And one of them applies now.
Okay.
So I'm going to read this, and I want everyone's reaction to this.
Okay.
You meet your soulmate. However, there is a catch. Every 3 years, someone will break both of your soulmate's collarbones with a crescent wrench.
I remember this.
And there is only one way to stop this from happening. You must swallow a pill that will make every song you hear for the rest of your life sound as if it was being performed by the band Alice in Chains. When you hear Creedence Clearwater Revival on the radio, it will sound to your ears like it's being played by Alice in Chains. If you see Radiohead live, every one of their tunes sounds like it's being covered by Alice in Chains. When you hear a commercial jingle on TV, it will sound like Alice in Chains. If you sing to yourself in the shower, your voice will sound like deceased Alice vocalist Lane Stanley performing a cappella, but it only sounds this way to you. Would you swallow the pill?
Yeah.
No.
Sorry, and the alternative is that
Your significant other, your soulmate.
my
actually,
soulmate
Your soulmate
gets
has
their legs,
Wait,
both their legs
do you
broken.
know-
No,
the
once a year.
collarbones.
every 3 years.
Both their collarbones broken.
I think I would have to know what
With
my
a-
soulmate would want.
Yeah,
like,
that's true. Are
you
you,
know what
cool
I mean?
with this?
Or like, I don't know. Maybe they have a really good disability plan at work. You know, and like.
Oh, yeah, the collarbone recovery.
No, I mean like for real though, and then you just get like a
I'm
paid
sure you can
time off
find a
work for a
doctor
little
to
while.
like sign off on. Okay, well, this is something that's about to happen, so we're gonna put you under, and then this person's gonna run in here real quick, do their business, and then we'll fix it. And there you
No,
go.
I don't
That's
think
not how
there's-
broken
I don't think
bones
there's
work.
any insurance company that would cover
Every 3 years. Okay,
Crescent
Every
wrench.
3 years,
Preemptive
two
Yeah.
collarbones
clavicle.
are broken. Yeah.
Well, but the insurance company doesn't have to know that
That's true.
that you knew. Like I mean, right?
Unless
Like,
they're listeners.
now, if the insurance company finds out, that's a problem because then, like, they would, I imagine, require you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it'd be hard to require, but they definitely up your premiums, right? I would tend to say
that is a pre-existing condition, right?
By
A crazy curse for someone.
it would be yes. So as long as you're,
act of God.
yeah, I mean, apparently, since this is a thing that can make every song you hear sound like Alice in Chains. The short answer is need more information.
Cheater, you need to pick an option.
No, I would do it.
Nope.
I would absolutely do it.
I would not.
Yeah, I would absolutely
Really?
do it.
Well, Austin, what would you want me to do?
What?
Alice in Chains. Everything though.
Yeah.
No.
I wouldn't want you to do this.
Mozart.
No, I.
Yeah.
I would tell you not to. I would tell
What?
you not to, absolutely, and just get my collarbones broken
Yeah.
every year.
But I do weird martyr decisions. In case you haven't noticed by every decision I've made on this podcast.
Yeah, but like, what would you want me to do?
I'll break my collarbones.
Exactly.
But I don't want you to break your collarbones.
Well, too bad.
Okay, I'm taking the pill.
Yeah, I'm with Sarah on
It
this.
is weird that you have to choose. Like, I can't choose. Like, I feel like it should be a mutual
It's like one of those
decision.
things in the movie where like they put you in a dark room and you don't know anything about what's actually
Right,
happening
right.
outside, and your family's actually okay, but you have to make a choice.
Can we
Okay.
hinge?
Yeah. I think
important.
that was a good epilogue to the Alice in Chains.
I would let their bones get broken.
We haven't heard the album yet.
Them bones.
But like, do I know my soulmate at this point?
I
Whoa.
think So,
I think yes.
Yeah.
I think the question posits you are sure.
well, either way,
Yeah.
that's even worse. Because
It's
there'd be just
way
some dude
worse.
out there who doesn't
Some
know
random
either.
person getting
Yeah.
their clavicles broken.
Put
Every
every,
three
I'm
years.
oh
actually,
no!
yeah, I'm alright with that, actually.
Oh no, I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah.
I thought of it as the person you're dating right now who you think is your soulmate. Because then later it would be, oh, my ex-boyfriend gets his collarbone broken every 3 years.
That would
Thumbs
be-
up.
Oh my god, that'd be fantastic. In that case, yes. I would let his collarbones be broken.
It's not a revenge
Wait,
story.
also, that's the same answer you gave the first time when you thought it was your soulmate.
So I
Okay,
guess that
yeah.
means it's official.
Yeah,
All right, anyway, hinges. Lee, what do you give it?
it's 3. It's a perfectly serviceable alternative rock album, alternative grunge rock album. If you like that type of thing, you're gonna love this album. But you probably know that already.
2.8.
3.3.
All right.
I liked those 3 songs, so they get an extra point
There we
Alright.
go.
Each.
each.
So that is Dirt by Alice in Chains and Sex, Drugs, and Cocoa Puffs by Chuck Klosterman. Good stuff. Hey, Sarah, I am starving. What are we eating this week?
Oil. No, the food is sesame oil. Actually, Adam, would you mind like grabbing me a plate? That's probably the easiest thing. So sesame oil is oil made out of sesame seeds. It's listed in the book under the aromatics section, which I think makes sense. It's definitely more of a spice or like a flavoring. Like, it's not like olive oil. Let me put it that way. So, I mean, like, we could eat it. I put it in lots of things, but I think the purest way to eat it, I mean, we'll just, like, I'm just gonna pour some on a plate and, like, I don't know.
Spoons?
Stick your finger in and eat it, guys. It's not that hard.
I'll do
You
it.
can get a spoon if you want.
Boom.
Everyone's putting their finger in it. We're immortal, right?
Yep.
Sorry, I need to take a photo of this amazing image.
Why would you do that?
It's for the Twitter.
No, but
It's
yeah,
actually,
hideous.
it's actually pretty good by itself.
Yeah, it is.
I've always thought that sesame oil has like a really, really strong flavor. So
I
like when
kind of think so too.
when
Yeah.
I use it in things, I try to use it sparingly because it can very quickly overpower a dish.
Everything says a couple drops here, a couple of drops there. Anywhere oil is called, add a couple drops if
Yeah.
you want.
Yeah.
It's definitely oil because it seems to just, like, be gone.
Well, yeah. I mean, so yeah, it's you can't cook in it. That would be gross.
Oh,
That would be
Um,
just too much.
But it's I really like sesame oil. I think it adds like a very like a good depth of flavor to
If you
stuff.
You know, I would really like this with bread, to be honest. I mean, a good olive oil is amazing.
That's fair.
Olive oil
I
and
could- I mean,
vinegar,
like-
but I would totally just.
That's true. It'd be a weird thing to do, but it'd be tasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
if you make Chinese food at home, like get all sesame oil because it will bump it up from made at home Chinese food to actually taste like Chinese food.
right. It's like it is kind of like the mystery ingredient.
Yeah.
When I figured that out, that like
It blew my mind.
even if I like am lazy and use like a store bought sauce, I often will still add a little bit of sesame oil to it because it it adds depth of flavor. I really like sesame oil. I think everyone should cook with it. That's why I have it in my cupboard and didn't have to do any work to get the food this week except
Nice.
walking over to my cupboard.
I'm kind of bummed because like this is one of the few foods that actually have like
That's
all
funny.
the time.
Yeah, no, here you are, you're here.
And the food is something I have at home.
Right.
Sarah didn't, like, make anything.
Nope.
Adam didn't make
Lazy.
anything.
Nope.
So yeah, I mean it's sesame oil. I kind of feel like I'm ready to henge. Does anyone else have more things to say?
I like it if only because it helps with tahini sauce.
Yes.
And I love
Yes.
tahini.
I think I need to, like, return to this review because by itself I think is not a review. But I know I've had this before in things, but I need, like, to have, like, I feel I have almost like an incomplete hinge rating because it's fine, it's good. I can see this being very useful in so many things, but aside from Pedro who just keeps making more of it.
It's tasty.
Jesus Christ.
No, throw some garlic in and get a nice, really crusty bread. That'd be
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, like, yeah, it's weird because of course, like, Asian food doesn't have bread-based dipping things. I can't think
Yeah.
of any dips.
Noodles are the closest you'll get to. Like,
Right.
Where you eat it with the broth or something.
But
Yeah.
it would work. Yeah, it makes sense.
So, yeah, hinges.
Sure. 4.6.
Yeah.
3.5. I mean, it's what the hell. I can't get enthusiastic about
I
this.
love sesame
Yeah,
oil.
I'm pretty
I think it's
enthusiastic.
partially because you don't cook. Like,
Yeah.
I
That's true. I
think if
need to
like
cook
yeah.
more. Because like right now it's like, yeah, this is fine. I'm not gonna be like
You should
racing
figure
home
out
when I find
when
the
you
Sesame
figure
Oil.
out how to make your own beef with broccoli. This
Oh,
is going
boy.
to be a major ingredient, and
Yep.
you're going to be a huge fan.
And I'll come back to
It's
3 and go,
below your
guess what,
line.
guys? Sesame Oil.
Yeah.
It's
Good
more
stuff.
than a 3.5. But what do you guys give it?
I'll give it a 4.5. I really like Sesame Oil.
Say 3.9.
I say 4.5 as well.
All right, that is Sesame Oil. You can find it everywhere.
Anywhere.
Even
In your cabinet.
In your soul!
Or Birdhouse.
Make a little bird.
Pedro straight up forgot what song he was doing.
Oh my god.
Oh, even in a birdhouse. In my soul. That's right. I forgot the song because I forgot the song. Yeah, the song is Birdhouse in Your Soul by They Might Be Giants.
I'm your only friend, I'm not your only friend, but I'm a little glowing friend, but really I'm not actually your friend, but I am. Blue canary in the outlet by the light switch, who watches over you? Make a little birdhouse in your soul, not to put too fine a point on it. Say I'm the only bee in your bonnet. Make a little birdhouse in your soul.
It's a song! It came out in 89 with their album Flood. It never ends. There's nothing surprising about it. Nothing very interesting. It is a perfectly healthy song. It's well made, I guess. It hits all the points that songs do. And
What does a healthy song mean in your mind?
It has a healthy structure for a song. It follows the protocol.
It's not experimental. It follows what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. That's it.
I find that to be the strangest possible review of
Yeah,
this song.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about, because I know you heard it, the right song, because I just sat here and re-listened to it with you. I don't like to always jump to this as the analysis of art, but it's about madness, right?
No, it's
I
about...
don't think so.
It's the point of view of a little nightlight. So it's a nightlight talking to the listener from its point of view. I'm your only friend because they're their only friend while you sleep type of thing.
It's definitely one where the lyrics are more like a poem. Like, I mean, they like are a metaphorical poem thing. Like they're
Yeah.
I fucking love this song. It is one of my favorite songs, probably. I'm not saying it's one of the best songs of all time, but it is one of my favorite songs of all time. I adore this
Fair
song.
enough.
Oh, it is about nightlight.
Yep.
Yeah.
The first chorus, or the first
Blue
verse.
canary in the outlet by the light switch who
Yeah.
watches over you.
Make a little birdhouse.
How about,
No,
I have a secret to tell from my electrical well. My name is Blue Canary One Note, spelled Lite. So they're saying I'm a nightlight. That's what I am.
Well, okay, so in my defense, the lyrics I was reading with had a typo, put LLTE.
Well, that's incorrect.
But even though I heard LITE. But you know, when the first two lyrics are complete contradictions, I jump to madness as a song. So when I hear then
That's fair.
Blue Canary in the outlet, I'm like, yeah, sure. Those are words we've now put together. So
You've never taken a blue canary and put it in the outlet?
No.
I don't usually play with birds.
Like when electricity
Outlets,
first started
yes.
being a
But
thing?
birds, no.
Just kind of like, bzz, it's cool.
You put please restate what you
That's
just
a, that's
said.
a joke.
Yeah, I did not.
Okay.
No. As far as I remember.
You have not put
Stuck
a
a blue
bird.
canary into an outlet.
Okay, living or dead.
Living or dead.
Okay.
Also, there aren't any blue canaries. I don't think that's a thing. But whatever.
That's true too. I was just wondering about that.
Adam, what do you think?
That was really fun.
Yeah.
And the lyrics were kind of aloof and interesting. It's like if I were to ask someone something like, have you ever been in love? And then they go on a long tangent and eventually talk about the Argonauts.
That's how I answer all of your questions.
Yeah, it was delightful and fun. And I wish it had been played in the movie. I would have liked the movie more.
That's hilarious.
What scene?
Oh, sorry.
Any of them.
When they're being robbed?
No, every time she's in a car driving.
Every time.
Yeah.
Well, that's what she plays in the diner. Because she expends a
Nice
coin
glasses,
in the
Yeah,
jukebox.
yeah, yeah.
But like, So I have an inherent fondness for any pop song that is not about love, because so much of modern music period is focused on that one part of human existence, and that makes like there's so much more to it. I know this song because it was played at every dance at my nerd camp that I went to in high school, which is weird, but I don't know. I read a really cool Slate article about this song that was written a little while ago. They talked about how They Might Be Giants was sort of they're very much like a band that was embraced by misfits. Like they do a lot of nerdy songs that are like vaguely like their lyrics are pretty intellectual, or not even intellectual. They're nerdy, right? I mean they like Particle Man. I mean Constantinople. The Sun of Massive Incandescent Gas. All They Might Be Giants. And this is like a song about like this is such a weird concept for a song. Like the Argonauts line is about the nightlight looking at the picture of the lighthouse that's in the room and talking about how it's not big enough or special enough to be a lighthouse, and instead it can only do what it tries to do, which is to be like the light in the person's room that makes sure they don't trip on things. And basically says, if I were a lighthouse, I'd kill all the Argonauts because I would suck at it. And then it extorts all of us to, like, keep a nightlight on inside the birdhouse in your soul, which is basically, like, make sure you always leave room in your heart to guide yourself home, which is a lovely sentiment, and I like this song a lot.
Also, it's super catchy.
Oh, super catchy, yeah.
That's what, like, drew me in more. I listened again, I had the lyrics open. I didn't get the nightlight thing because I'm dumb.
No, you're not. No, like you're not supposed to get it the first time.
But it could be about nightlights and madness, I think.
Maybe the person who wrote it
is mad.
Makes sense to me.
That makes sense, yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it's super charming. I don't listen to a lot of They Might Be Giants, but I like them.
I feel like they're a band that would have really benefited from coming out like 20 years later.
Absolutely.
Like if
That's
they
what
came,
I thought.
They were
if
very
came out
This was an
now-
'89 song, and I was like, I when I first heard it, I was like, this is obviously something that came out in what mid-thousands or something. No,
It's true. They were very out of place in their time period, and would fit in very well in like the mid 2000s.
I think
which
they
is
would
when I
have
was
been-
listening to them.
Yeah, I think they would have been amazing with the like introduction of YouTube and and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think they would have become super duper popular.
Yep.
And instead,
well, actually,
Jonathan Colton is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true.
but they existed already. So with the rise of YouTube and all that, shouldn't they have been able to experience that anyway?
They could have. I don't think they sought it out though. So
Yeah, I guess.
And they weren't releasing new content. Which,
Mm.
yeah.
The song was alright.
Also, They Might Be Giants is a rather good, weird Sherlock Holmes movie.
Really?
Huh.
Remember that?
Nah, I remember we watched it.
All right, yeah.
Couldn't tell you what it's about.
George C. Scott. I watched it with
Oh,
you.
that one!
George C. Scott is a mental patient who thinks he's Sherlock Holmes, and unfortunately his doctor is named Watson. It's more of a Don Quixote story than anything else. And he has a great monologue about They Might Be Giants, which is about windmills.
This sounds familiar.
Because I watched this movie with you.
Oh, okay.
Alright, anywho, it's time to hinge it.
3 and a bit. 3.6.
4.4.
4.9. This is one of my favorite songs of all time.
375.
4.4.
Woo!
Yeah.
So that is Birdhouse in Your Soul by They Might Be Giants. No transition. What are you reading this week?
Come on.
you wanted one?
Damn.
Oh, sorry. Where is there not a nightlight?
In the Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. And it's a 2008 book. It's his fourth or fifth novel.
Well, I mean...
Second or third children's novel.
Yeah, it's kind of how you count them. I think more novels than that, but definitely this is... I don't know. He has a lot of books.
Yeah, he just
He
writes
does.
all the time. He doesn't
Yeah.
stop writing.
Not really, no.
You know what he's best known for?
Sandman?
Writing Doctor Who.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
I don't-
definitely.
I do not
definitely need
think that's
I think it's true.
I think
I
it's
think
his
it's true.
multiple bestsellers and very acclaimed.
The Doctor's
comic
Wife. A really good
series.
episode. And then
Or
an okay
even the
episode.
fact that he's married to Amanda Palmer. He's probably more famous for that than that one episode of Doctor Who.
He actually made
At
two,
least-
but one's way better.
Here.
Okay. What?
I was gonna say, at least here, he's more famous for that than
Again,
Doctor Who.
1 or 2 episodes of Doctor Who, I don't think is going to be enough to counteract.
We'll see what the fans think.
The Graveyard Book is it's heavily influenced by The Jungle Book, and it's about a boy whose family is killed one night, and he is adopted by spirits in a graveyard. And so it's about how he grows up in a graveyard, and kind of still about the person who killed his family meant to kill him as well. And so it's about that pursuit as well. And it was, I enjoyed the book. I feel like I've read a couple Neil Gaiman things, and I have a cerebral appreciation for Neil Gaiman, but it's not really an emotional attachment. The last chapter of the Graveyard Book was definitely, I was definitely sad, but before that, it was just like, oh, this is all very interesting, and I'm like mentally enjoying this. But for me, with a story, I want it to be mentally and emotionally enjoyable.
We're not going to talk about details, but it's my second time reading this one, and I don't like a lot of the conclusion of the book. In particular with the motivation of the killer. And how they concluded another character. But that's being vague.
Which character?
The female one.
There are so many. Scarlet?
Yes, the female alive one.
Okay.
So issues about that being resolved, and to me this kind of looks like middle of the line Neil Gaiman, because there's a lot of really good parts about it. But I'm not immediately kind of drawn into the romanticism of the Graveyard, which I think a lot of his fans are. Because, the fact that his name is Bod, short for nobody, these are very, Neil Gaiman-y things. And kind of the way the ghosts and the ghouls and the rules of the Graveyard. It's fun, but I liked it kind of more enough throughout the book when he was out of the Graveyard, which is weird since it's literally called the Graveyard Book.
Yeah.
The one where he goes to school, I
Yeah.
think is great. The one where... he's trying to go to that shop.
To sell the thing
Yeah.
for a headstone.
Yeah, those are
that someone doesn't have.
my favorite parts.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because my favorite character in the book is the witch.
Yes.
Because she's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I really liked that. I do like how long the book is. Not in terms of pages, but in terms of time. Because, he's a baby in the first chapter. And last chapter, he's 14?
15.
15, yeah. It's really... So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that not just everything happened to him that weekend. And it's kind of like a different maturity for different parts.
Mm-hmm.
But, the rules and the magic powers he kind of encounters and whatnot, it was all fine, but I had more relation with the living, especially when the ghosts philosophized about the role of the living. Because he has such an interesting relationship with death, since everyone he knows is dead, and he's not afraid of death because he just then would hang out in the same place he's already hanging out. But when certain ghosts are explaining to him when you're dead and you're here we are, all we can do is this, whereas life is all about everything else that it can be. That's when the Neil Gaiman using the genre for really kind of beautiful sentiment. That's when the book was really working for me.
Yes.
So, it's weird. I wasn't enjoying the Beetlejuice land as much as everything else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, technically, the Beetlejuice land is his normal world.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So the real world is the Beetlejuice land
Sure.
to him. Think about it.
No, it's not really how Beetlejuice worked even.
I can't think of any. Well, okay, no. What I did another thing I liked about this is that Bod is just a regular kid, and then he gets these, like he gets the what do they call it? The power of the graveyard? No.
Keeper of the graveyard, right?
No.
The keeper.
He gets freedom of the something.
Basically, he gets to hang out and like see dead people.
Yeah,
and it's safe by them.
Right, and in the graveyard, he can. They call it fade, which is basically disappear.
Yeah.
And so, I feel like that's the way to go with characters. That's my opinion, rather than having like a character with special powers and who's already like a special boy with a lightning bolt on his head.
Freedom of the graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, I'm gonna be vague about something near the end of the book, but not completely. That's what I was liking too until they introduced a prophecy.
Oh yeah.
And then that's where I was like,
I
fuck
brushed
this.
over that, but yeah, you're right.
Because like the villains in this book are great. Like they
Yeah.
are creepy. Like now we're getting into some really good like Neil Gaiman horror territory. Because I think Jack is a really creepy villain.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why they're doing it is really minor in case of the whole story, but it ties up like way too well. Because like to me, the greatest about how creepy Jack was the unknown about him.
Mm-hmm.
And once you like know the unknown, it's always gonna be that satisfying. But this was especially that satisfying for me.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't deter from like how creepy Jack is throughout like the rest of the book. Because
Yeah.
I mean, murders the family in the first couple pages, and like people are afraid to like say his name, write it on a card and whatnot. And
Yeah.
because like he's still like wanting to kill this child for all these years. It's really creepy.
And the group he's part of is called the Convocation, which is so like formal and
Yeah.
creepy in the right context.
Also, you know, they did one thing also I like when they're in the school chapter, where, because typically you have all these kind of YA books, and you always have the kid loves to read, and it's like, you know, I relate because I'm also a kid reading a book right now. But I love it when he went to school, and like he went to school because he basically begged the other ghosts like let him go to school because he's like not learning enough. So he's the only kid in the class who actually wanted to learn.
Right.
And all the kids are like, no, you dummy, we're all here because we have to be here.
Yeah.
That was a very good difference between the two ways kids approach school. It seems like, but yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's well written. It's very imaginative. It's very clever. Just it reminded me, especially since we're reading so many kids' books. This is absolutely a kid's book. It doesn't read like any other kid's book. Like it's
Right.
exciting, it's dangerous, it's scary, it's unpredictable. Like there's, even though it is very inspired by the Jungle Book, it's not obvious. It's actually like a page-turning kids book, which is
I feel like
rare.
Neil Gaiman is really good at that. Like Stardust is also it's a kid's book, but I read it as an adult and enjoyed it the entire time.
I don't think I've read. No, I think I've read Stardust.
I've seen
I
the
also
movie,
read,
which
I've read
I'm
Coraline
obsessed with.
too, which is in his kids genre. Coraline's creepy in an awesome way. But yeah, are you ready to hinge it, or we have more
Yeah.
things?
4.
I was also gonna do 4 actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. That guy, you know,
You know him.
he's very famous. And now it's time for America's Got Talent. Who watched this one?
Me.
No.
You did not watch it enough.
Yes, I did.
You should watch seasons upon seasons of this.
Okay, but I watched like enough episodes to hinge it, and I've watched like a ton of clips over the years. I feel completely qualified to judge America's Got Talent.
As do I. So, America's Got Talent is a game show that has run on NBC now for 11 seasons. The 12th season will be airing this fall. It is essentially a talent show where, from any sort of genre, you can audition, and the judges will kind of like say whether or not you have talent until eventually one person will win $1 million. If that sounds really vague, it's kind of why season 1 is a horrible piece of trash. I watched all season 1, and I'm now 2/3 of the way through season 11, just to kind of get...
Which is the most recent season.
Most recent season. In season 1, it was hosted by Regis Philbin, who I believe, if you ask him right now on the street, did you host America's Got Talent? He says, I don't think so.
Doesn't sound like the kind
Not
of
because he's
narrative.
senile, it's just because no one tried in this season. Especially the judges, who, if you had to pick celebrity judges to really judge talent, your first 3 choices would definitely be David Hasselhoff, Brandy, and Piers Morgan.
It's a hot mess.
It is... Watching this season was the most painful thing I've done on this show in a long time.
You watched Gotham.
This is worse than Gotham.
Let's be clear. He is still watching Gotham.
That's true.
Because Fox is still airing it, so it's really on them.
It's very
But-
watchable.
I don't think that's true. Whatever.
But America's Got Talent Season 1 is truly, aside from any season of Gimme Gimme Gimme, the worst season of anything I've watched for this show, bar none. It is trash on, not even like fun trash, like, it is just fucking incompetent, horrible, mean television that is poorly made on every single account, and it's almost entirely because of the judges and the producers
Yeah.
and the format. But
You have a lot of feelings.
it begins with the problem that, well, the judges have no opinion about anything. They're just awful people who agreed to do this show without, like, knowing what it was. So they don't know how to judge the competition, and they don't know how to compare different genres. Because they really, like, at one point, midway through the show, they said, we don't know how to compare a juggling act to a singing act. And I said, that's what I've been saying since the pilot, because this is insane. And they don't understand even how, like, certain magic acts work in the basic things, because their notes for the contestants are so bloody incompetent. Piers Morgan is a horrible human being, which is evident from his entire career of being a person.
Yep.
And he is especially cruel on this, where he is openly sexist frequently to Brandy and the female contestants. He keeps creepily commenting on how some teenagers are sexy, and the attractiveness of the women. It is so horrible, and the show is designed in a way where the show is really, I mean, the show is a response to American Idol and the success of American Idol, and trying to do the same thing for basically singing plus everything. It was even produced by Simon Cowell, because then he won't sue them for ripping off American Idol.
Right.
Well, no, didn't Britain's Got Talent come out first?
I could be wrong. I think Britain's Got Talent came out after.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think Britain's Got Talent, like, weirdly came out after this one. But Simon Cowell basically made both, because American Idol is basically from Simon Cowell made the X Factor, which then he brought here, then American Idol. I think he did American Got Talent.
Britain's Got Talent first aired in April 2006.
That's when it's the same year, I think.
I think it's the same year. But no, 2005 is American one. So
I mean, my guess is they were being produced basically at the same time.
yeah. But there's a cruelty to the first season where the show is really enjoying
It's also 2006.
the mockery of the contestants and really highlighting how awful they are. And, like, even when we're in the middle of the competition and we're now done, like, semifinals and we're at the live show to see the results, it is imperative that the host must repeat the mean comments that were said the previous time to them again on the stage and then vote them out. It's designed to, like, kind of calling them stupid and pathetic and laughing that they need to be on medication sometimes. It's just constantly hard to watch because there's no joy in it. And also the contestants aren't even that great. So I fucking hated the show.
We first fucking hated the first season.
Then I went to the new season, and which was aired last year, and it begins with this really cool, like, visual effect where, like, it's a big crowd and everyone's frozen and the camera kind of goes through.
It's like a mannequin challenge.
But no, but it's After Effects.
Right, it's
actually,
After Effects,
It actually is a thing where, like, the camera's going through and I go, oh shit, this actually is produced. Wait, no, I need to apologize. The first season, they messed up the game show format so much because Piers Morgan wouldn't make a decision, and they broke how the game worked because he wouldn't make a judge's decision, and it broke how America voted the next episode.
Piers Morgan is a lot like Donald Trump.
Fucking shit show. Oh yeah, Donald Trump showed up in the first season.
Yeah, that also happens.
Almost like flipped my desk at work, and Donald Trump just showed up to do a fucking ad for the Apprentice.
Being Austin's girlfriend this week has been an interesting experience.
So season 11, it begins with this cool shot, and I was thrown off. I was like, oh my god, this is produced. This is creative. This is happy. Season 11 is really good. And I'm really confused by this because I've spent a week hating this show. And now season 11 is still overproduced. There's actually like way too many songs kind of always playing in the background. But it's based upon inspiration and awe. Like, it takes the title more seriously where it's like America's Got Talent. Look how cool it is we can see all these things. So even when they're voting people out, it is the judges very sincerely like talking about how truly great they are and please don't give up in your dreams. Sometimes they even go up on stage and like hugging them when they're going out. It's about making a really happy show to watch. And all the talent's way better and it's way better produced. The judges actually are smart because now we have Simon Cowell, Heidi Klum, Mel B from the Spice Girls, and Howie Mandel, who all clearly have a point of view and also all clearly like each other because they can joke each other and it's not feeling like Piers Morgan is just diminishing women. It's funny. Nick Cannon is the host. It actually does feel like inspiring at times because like it's really about making people. I mean, everyone has a sob story. This is now an overproduced American game show, which means every single person has had cancer. But then somehow it still works, and it's good now. Which now I'm horribly want to know how the reverse Jekyll and Hyde happened.
Yeah, so
because it somewhere in between 9 seasons.
And I have some idea of how that happened because I watched the entire first season when it was on, and it tends to be one of my YouTube like comfort foods sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like I'll be like, oh, I wonder what was on America's Got Talent this year, and I'll watch like a bunch of good acts or bad acts because they're funny. It tends to be those times when you're lying in bed and like you play one of them and then you're like, I am not turning off the autoplay. I will watch more of this
because they're dancing dogs.
Yeah, because they're dancing dogs. The answer is it mostly only got good this season because the like mean judge after Piers Morgan left was Howard Stern, who was also pretty annoying, but better because he's not like an actual horrible human being in the same way that Piers Morgan. I mean, he is, but like it's
he's trash, but at least he's like articulate trash.
He's perfect, and he's Piers
like Morgan is not.
He is good natured towards the competitors in a way that Piers Morgan is really joyless and awful. But yeah, like. And the talent got better. Obviously, unsurprisingly, the talent got better after the season aired once because lots of people were like, oh, I could go be on TV that way.
But there's one weird exception because I've only watched season 1, almost all 11, and I'm now weirdly invested in 11. Where,
you are, yeah.
I was watching the first like live show after the judges' cuts, and I realized like, oh shit, like of these like 9, like only 3 can go on. And I actually like 7 of them quite a lot. Yeah. So I'm weirdly like, I don't know who wins, and I can't even like Google the people I like a lot because I don't want to see like runner-up on America's Got Talent. But there's one act, and this is bizarre because it's not been acknowledged yet on the show, that was in both seasons. The nicest, most professional guys in the first season were these kind of like big stunt juggling and illusionists and whatnot called Passing Range. Yeah. Super nice and charming, did some cool acts. And now they're on season 11 with bigger acts and whatnot. But no one's said so far, like in the interviews or even like a trivia, that they've done this before.
Yeah.
And that's making me feel like I'm crazy.
I think Simon Cowell is
definitely them.
I think Simon Cowell is trying to sort of reboot this hot mess because like Jerry Springer hosted this for a while. Like
because Regis did not come back.
It's been a rocky road.
I think they pretend season 1 didn't happen because they've now like in some of these live shows they've had like the winners come on like do some things. It's like it's them, and they've had winners for, like seasons 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah, no, they don't. They pretend it doesn't happen
because the girl wasn't that great.
No, the girl on season 1 is not great.
I like the show, and I mean, it helps that the hosts are
nice.
good and like it.
Yeah.
Because even when Simon Cowell makes fun of Mel B, it is sweet and it's a funny joke. but Mel B knows they have the friendship where she can take her water bottle and go over and pour it on his head.
Right.
And it's just good TV.
Yep.
Also, the
I
hacks
think
are really
we've
good.
been talking for a long time and should probably henge this.
I've seen 30 episodes of this show, and they're all 2 hours long.
This has been an interesting week
So,
with Austin.
I'm gonna finish season 11.
It's okay, honey. It's over now.
Well, no, I'm gonna keep watching, because this is now like
Well, you're
the
gonna
weirdest
finish it, right?
mystery. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I need to know when.
No, you cannot watch all of the seasons. Don't do this to yourself.
Well, we'll see what happens. I'm definitely watching the new one.
Okay, let's henge this.
But Nick Cannon left because NBC was racist.
Oh, that's too bad.
You see that?
I mean, it's too bad that NBC was racist. Yeah, I did see that. Not that
Nick Cannon did a stand-up special for Showtime, and Nick Cannon's a really awesome, versatile actor. I mean, he was so good in Chirac, and he had a stand-up set that was more like what he's like in Chirac than he is in America's Got Talent. He did some sort of joke about how like black people don't really know him from America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
Right, so no one
It was a joke kind of going down that line, and NBC said, "You need to like cut that joke and apologize for it." And he goes, "No." And then he said, "Like this is not the first time they've been like not thrilled with the black things they do off screen."
Yeah.
So they replaced him with Steve Harvey.
Oh, are you fucking kidding me?
No.
I'm not looking forward.
This
to
show
Steve
is
Harvey.
like, don't get me wrong, this show is everything that's wrong with American television. I just don't think that it, like, the amount of ire you had towards the first season is not indicative of the show as a whole. Like, the show as a whole is bad. It's not
Which is why
the worst thing ever produced in the history of television.
season 1 is.
Sure. I don't agree, but I know that
The
you
only thing
believe
that's
this
worse
very strongly.
is Gimme Gimme Gimme, which was just openly racist every episode. This was racist like most episodes.
Okay, let's end it. I think it's time.
Well, I guess the difference between 0 hinges and 4 hinges is 2. So 2 hinges.
Yeah, I'll give it 2.2. Like, I think it's a little bit better than you think it is. That's about it.
The difference between 0 and 4 is 4, by the way.
The average.
That's closer.
better, yeah.
Yeah. But that's fine.
On a number line. I
I'm
understand
asked.
what you were going for.
Yeah, I'm not.
We
got it, we got it.
understand.
Got the concept.
I just
Whatever,
couldn't let it go.
This episode's
Apparently
67.
not. Yeah, it is.
Woo!
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 We did it.
Woo!
Good team, go.
We did
Go,
it!
team, go. Team, go. Team, go, go, go.
Dun, dun.
Team. Hey!
Oh, see,
Hello.
see, look, he gets straight up his chest, right?
That's really freaky.
It's a thing. His eyes change a little bit.
Yeah.
He still needs glasses for some
Yeah,
reason.
wait, Lee, you've never seen this,
I've never
have you?
seen this. This is new for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's freaky.
Yeah.
It is weird.
You know, intern, I feel like we get bogged down with all the stuff about trying to defeat Bethany. Can you tell us the number real fast before we get into all that?
Well, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's unconventional, but I will try it this time. It is 923.
Okay.
Cool.
Let's just,
Sweet.
before we get anything out of the way.
Oh, and you're going to name them all now?
Yeah. I feel like you don't get to see this part. And you like it. So just,
For
Oh,
a
yeah.
reason.
just chill.
Go on.
Yeah.
The movie next week.
I mean, you could just buzz off, really.
I mean, yeah,
You've done your
you've
job.
done your job.
No, we got to defeat Bethany.
Oh, all right.
So wait, real fast. The movie is Being John Malkovich.
Awesome.
It's a tale about weird loneliness and trying to connect with people.
Great.
But Adam's not even here to hear the joke.
Adam's gonna love it.
He doesn't listen to the show. It's fine.
The food is gulak. I have no idea what that is.
Oh, I think it's a type of, like, liquor.
Cool.
That'd
Yeah.
be nice.
I think it's where it's a
So
Russian
it's
prison.
Swedish
That's
or...
That's a gulag.
With a G.
It's like Swedish
do you
or
guys
Finnish
think?
or something.
I guess we'll find out.
Anyway, the song is really cool. I liked it a lot back in my younger days. It's Slob by Weezer.
Oh.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
The album is Bright Flight by Silver Jews. Okay.
I'll look this up for Adam. The book is Listen to My Heart by Blanca Pizarro, which, fun fact, is not in English. And the TV show is called The Midwife. All right, now let's get down to business.
Enthralling.
Let's get down to business.
To
So-
defeat... Sorry.
Bethany. Did they
Bethany.
send me... Whatever.
Flowers.
What?
They're trying to move on.
No,
Yeah.
I got that. I got
We just didn't
that.
do it well.
It's just really bad.
So, for the past few weeks, the intern, our double agent of sorts, we're trying to think of the best ways to defeat Bethany because she's been using the power of our reviews to make something bad.
For evil.
It's not a good thing. Clearly, it's affecting the outside world because
The world
Donald
is
Trump
falling apart.
The world's falling apart. It's a whole issue, and we've all thought of plans. And this week, I said I was going to combine all of the plans. What was your plan again, intern? I got it all but yours.
You called it the Superman 3 plan, whatever that means.
Office space.
Right, office space, where we're just taking money and...
We're taking the fractional sense of the power reserves that get transferred to the bank that is the battery that
Trust me,
holds
it
the
makes
power.
sense.
Okay, then I got
To
it.
me.
Then I got it now. I got it now. So, I would recap all of our plans, but it'll take twice as long. So we're just going to do this. So, I think this all works. We are going to use my plan of the Parent Trap, where we're going to get the identical twin of Bethany, and kind of like swap them up and like help like her parents get back together and be happier. But we know Bethany knows she doesn't have an identical twin. So when we try to pull that off, she will think that this is happening, but like she's like falling into our plan and like, you know, seeing what's gonna happen, then betray us all. But at that moment, she'll be caught off guard because Lee is going to scream her real name. And during that confusion, we are going to kick her into an oven, which was Adam's plan. But because she is, you know, very all-powerful and going to get out, we will be using the siphoned off powers from the Superman 3 plot to power up Pedro's sword knife.
It's so awesome. Look at it.
And we're going to use that
shiny.
to
It's
keep
big and sharp.
to keep the oven shut,
Yeah.
even though we know that she's immortal and can't die. That is when we nuke the oven. Even though she doesn't die, that will then make her value unusable for a while. And the value, your
The value
plan,
of her gold.
your Goldfinger plan.
Yes, okay, I
So
understand.
we nuke the oven, and then you know, her power and influence will not be usable for a long time, and that means our power and influence has higher value, and that is when we make everything right.
I'm cool with that.
That's almost plans, right?
Yeah.
Got it. So, I mean, this all makes sense. We're just gonna do this, right?
Well, we gotta make sure we get gold first. That's the only thing.
We don't- we need to-
If we make her gold value drop down, that's all cool and all, but our value only go up if we have it in the first place.
No, the gold's metaphor. Bethany's the gold.
He's
And
metaphorized my plan. My plan was about
It was actual gold.
My plan was real gold, but fine, it's fine.
All right. Okay, so we're on the same page.
So yeah, so this is, yeah. So
And
intern, this will work, right?
This is the best plan that all of you can come up with.
It's our final draft, yes.
It is the final draft of the plan.
Yeah.
My
Do
final
you think
answer.
this is doable?
I think that you have no idea what you're talking about. The lot of you.
Aw.
I mean, like
I
that's
feel like that's fairly
that's pretty
good.
evident.
Yeah.
That like from like 67 episodes.
But like, what should we do then?
We've never like tried to kill an immortal being before, so
It's pretty confusing.
You've been
Actually.
Well,
pretty
apart
lazy
from
about this whole
myself,
concept for
but-
years.
Wasn't that a Buffy plotline?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
There's a number
least
of Buffy
two or
plot lines
three.
that are that.
Wait, she died in that. That's good for us.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
She came
wait,
back.
intern. So, do you have a better plan, or do you think we can do this plan? Do you have any notes?
I do have notes. And it is that none of that will work. This has been a delight. You called me a double agent before, but the truth is, I'm a triple agent.
God damn it!
God, I
Fucker.
mean,
What is it?
And I just wanted
Working for
to...
Bethany, working for us, working for Bethany.
Yes, I
He's the bad
deceived
guy.
you.
You're a bad guy.
he's the bad guy.
Oh, he's the intern. I like
I
the
wanted
intern.
to
He's
know.
the bad guy.
I wanted to know
What do you mean you're the bad
your
guy?
best plans for defeating
No.
Bethany, and they are, in a word, garbage.
You son of a bitch! The sword is not garbage! Ah!
Oh shit! Pedro stabbed
What
the
the
intern.
hell?
Adam, I'm sorry.
hell?
I'm sorry, Adam.
Wait.
Hello.
No,
Wait, is Adam gonna be
still
okay?
the intern.
Oh,
okay,
okay.
good.
Oh, okay.
Just stab him twice.
But it was still the intern.
Wait. He's muttering something.
Oh, that actually worked. I feel
What?
What?
very poor. And
Poor?
yes, I feel dying. Go.
Shit, Pedro, you killed the intern, and maybe Adam.
Let me take the sword back real quick.
Why did I decide to
Adam?
come up here?
Wait.
You.
Wait. Oh.
What the fuck?
There's a giant spiral in the middle of Adam's chest.
Is now
It's like a vortex.
Oh, fuck me!
Oh, come on in! Come in!
Adam, I'll
Jump
save
in.
you.
Adam, okay, everyone, jump into Adam's vortex chest. Wait, grab the mic.
That seems like a normal thing to say. Okay.
Grab the computer. Grab the computer.
Shit.
All
I
right.
fell in already.
Hey guys.
Hi, Adam. Are you
this is-
inside you?
No,
What's
well, I
happening?
mean,
Are we
this is-
inside you?
This is where I usually go when the intern comes in. So
Wow, this is weird.
yeah, it's weird.
I like the stars.
Wish I had put my pants back on.
Why
Why
were
were they
off?
I've been here a lot.
Wait,
so
are we
I
in-
just get comfortable?
Is this the old god's realm?
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
as far as I can tell, I haven't done a lot of exploring. It's just kind of a
But this isn't
Weird
the
place
limbo
to
that you
go.
were in before. There was a time we were gone for like a week.
yeah. This is the second place. I think it's
Okay.
just like a different
Room.
room
Okay.
kind of thing.
Oh, we killed the intern.
Oh, great.
More
I
Pedro.
may have
So-
heard. Are you feeling okay? Because I kind of stabbed your body.
Yeah, well, no, I'm fine, but it seems like we're stuck here for now.
Well,
Okay.
We're closer to the source, guys.
we got 2
I
plans.
got my sword.
This could prove troublesome.
We got a couple things we need to do. Find a way home. Kill Bethany.
Yeah.
Stop Bethany. Whatever Bethany. Review Being John Malkovich.
Sure.
How the hell are
Review
we gonna watch?
Bright Fight.
We've got the computer.
Oh yeah, the shit.
Is the internet still working?
Are we getting a slight Wi-Fi?
Yeah, we're gonna rip off a couple podcasts. No, the head's on Wi-Fi.
Oh.
It's the old god's realm.
Well, yeah, of course they've got Wi-Fi.
Here, it looks like the wireless network is called Mortals Don't Use This. This is ours. But it's unsecured, so we're going to go ahead and take it.
I'm alright with that.
Wait, there was a Doctor episode where like you did that and you got a virus and you died. You
Well,
turned into a
this is
spoon
not
thing.
Doctor Who, because Doctor Who isn't real.
We're also in like
Well,
another
they could be
realm,
now.
so shit's bad anyway.
All right.
We're good.
I think what we need to do is we're going to spend this week exploring, watching the stuff, figure what to do next. I think we should split up into 2 groups.
I'm
Group
cool with
number
that.
Don't split the party.
No, group number 1. Adam, Pedro, Sarah, me. Second group, Lee. You go that way. I think this will work out well.
I think
It'll
it'll
be
be
great.
It'll go fine.
While we do all this, you all can, check up on us, give us some moral support. And you can do that by emailing us at theimmortals@theartmoral.com, leaving a comment at theartmoral.com. We're also on Twitter at @theimmortalspod, YouTube, The Immortals. Check out the other podcasts on the website, like Let's Take 5. Tomorrow we are starting our Richard Linklater 5. We're reviewing the film Slacker. Eric wasn't a fan. It's a funny discussion. And also, new episodes up for Ad Absurdum.
Yeah, oh yeah, it is. It's about Batman. It's cool. We had a funny pun in the title. You should download it and see.
Okay, so do all those things while we try to hide among our enemies.
Yay!
It's gonna go great, guys.
Oh yeah,
We're fine.
we'll talk to you guys later. Bye everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
We didn't do our names.
Oh shit, I'm Pedro.
I'm still recording.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Austin.
I'm Adam.
I'm confused.
There's a picture opposite me of my primitive ancestry, which stood on rocky shores and kept the beaches shipwreck free. Though I respect that a lot, I'd be fired if that were my job. After killing Jason off and countless screaming Argonauts, new bird of friendliness, like guardian angels, it's always near. New canary in the outlet by the light switch, who watches over you? Make a little birdhouse in your soul, not to put too fine a point on it. Say I'm the